So, we talked about like DLC and stuff before with gaming and our opinions on it. There's something I wanted to bring up that I think is an issue that doesn't get talked about enough. So, one of the things I've noticed in the gaming industry is there's not everyone, but there's always a group of people that you'll see them speak out about something that's negative in gaming that they don't like, and then they'll still support it. I've never understood that. It's like I can understand if maybe you're still going to support it because there's not enough people boycotting it. But if you're going to support something, like I see it all the time, you know, there's always some gamers that will talk about negative aspects in gaming, but then they'll still support it. It's like, what do you expect from these companies to keep doing this? You keep buying their stuff. You have to vote with your wallet. That's the only way they listen.
That's probably like the root of like the biggest problem with video games right now, is what you were saying. I do think that's kind of like the elephant in the room, just because I mean, if there's a problem with video games, but it's continued to be supported, and we kind of overlook it or sweep it under the rug, it kind of turns into a disaster. Because yeah, I agree with what you said, that you have to hit them in the wallet, and no one seems to be wanting to do that. And I think that that's kind of what happened with a lot of the PS4 generation, just because all those problems that happened, but people still went out and bought the games, even if they were like threes and fours out of 10 or whatever.
Yeah, very true. Voting with your wallet gets these companies to listen to us. I mean, when you had that Xbox One shit going on, if we bought the Xbox One, despite the policies, and we only talked about why we didn't like it, they wouldn't have changed anything. But because we weren't buying it, and also because of PlayStation, maybe would we listen, you know?
Tisk, 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 tisk. So, it's this Frenchy talent here, ladies and germs, coming to you live from hell. And, we're just, Preston and I are just kind of reflecting back, but we noticed something. And speaking with acidic roots, Jackal Gold Kick, and a couple other folks like that, we noticed a few things about video games. What could they possibly be? Jackal Goldkick said something to the effect of, don't support game developers that are doing incorrect things, and hit them in their wallet. That's about the only way you're going to get people to listen to you at this day and age. That's just something that you have to accept. And I've really, of course, had to pay attention to the wavelengths of that. So, yeah, I just don't know at this stage. I mean, game developers, if the only way they're going to listen is if you don't buy it, that seems to be like a one-way kind of traffic, it would seem. Well, if you're buying it but you don't like it, that means we don't have to listen to you. I suppose that kind of fits the bill, as far as if you didn't like it, then don't buy it. Don't even rent it. But the fact that rental stores are kind of going defunct, I mean, if you don't even like, I would just recommend, and this is just from a goblin standpoint, if you dare listen to me, if you don't like it more than 30%, don't bother purchasing it. If it gets an F or a failing grade from you, don't pick it up unless you feel like wasting 50 or 60 bones. or more than that due to microtransactions and things of that like. So that's just kind of my 2 cents. Acidic Roots has told me in the past that he's only really cared about like 3 or 4 Xbox One games, and from Jackal Goldkick's angle, it doesn't look like the PS4 is doing too much better. So I would just have to say, here's the skinny, if you need to know. If games are not doing that terrific, say, take a hike. That's the only thing you can do at this stage, because otherwise you're going to get the half-grade sequels. You're going to get the unfinished product. You're going to get the crappy online play like Cobalt said. That just kind of happens to be the thing. I'd like for these things to be fixed, but I think Jackal Goldkick might have had one of the quotes of the video by saying, hit them in their wallet. The more you know.